Hi everybody, Patrick here from EscapeRoomElectronics.com, EngineeringShop.com, and PaintballProps.com. Today I'm going to talk about battery packs. Now when you mount your escape room or paintball prop, obviously if you want to make it mobile, you can't rely on an AC to DC wall adapter. If you want to make it mobile, you need to use batteries. Now in the case of this mounted Betty, seen more in my last video, I've used 8 1.5 volt AA batteries in series, so I've got 12 volts DC, and these batteries are pretty awesome for power sourcing. 9 volt batteries are absolutely terrible. I stay away from them as often as I can unless the application is extremely low power. However, some people, you don't want to keep replacing batteries. These batteries will last a while, but a mobile set that requires a fair bit of power, it's going to drain the batteries over time, especially if you forget to turn them off. If you leave in this case, if you leave the Betty on, it's not going to consume a ton of power, but over time, it's going to drain the batteries. So, let's talk battery packs. I purchased this battery right here, this battery pack, for $36 Canadian, I believe. It came with an AC DC wall adapter and a special cord, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Actually, let me get the Betty out of the way for a second, and again, if you want to know more about our bomb props, check us out at EscapeRoomElectronics.com. I'll close this up, and let's talk about the battery pack. So for $36 on Amazon Canadian, this is what I received. This is a 12 volt, or rather a 12 volt 3,000 milliamp hour power supply. Now I can't attest to the quality of this. I just got it. I've got no idea how long it'll last, but if it is a 3,000 milliamp hour rechargeable battery, I would think it'd be great for paintball and portable escape room props. More so paintball. So I'll turn it around, and right now it's got, I believe how it works is just there's 5 levels of charge, and out of the box it's got 4 levels, so I imagine it's 10 volts. I can test that. I'll show you a little bit later how to test that, but this is how you charge it. You'd plug this in right here, and this is the input and output. So you charge in and you use this as an output to power your prop. There's also a 5 volt USB stick, so you can charge your phone if you'd like. So I'll turn power off. Now this cable right here, this is nifty. This is smart. What they've done here is they've made it so that you have the option of charging, powering your unit, and recharging at the same time, which is really neat. Or at least, say you need to sacrifice one of the, say, for the sake of a Betty, there's not a power jack for it, there's a terminal block, so I need to separate the positive and the negative leads. Whereas other devices, other props that I have a little 5 volt, power jack, a DC power jack. So for that prop, I wouldn't need to cut one of these jacks off, but in the case of the Betty 4.0, I've got a 2-pin terminal block like this. So I need to cut one of these off, and I need to separate the black and the red wire, red being 12 volts and black being DC ground. So for now, let me just cut this off, and I'll show you what I mean. So I've cut away one of the jacks, and now I've exposed the wires. I've got a red one and I've got a black one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just twist them up so it's nice and strong. It's one cable, it's not a bunch of strands, and then I'm going to use a little bit of solder, and I'm going to tip the ends. I should mention that the link to this battery pack is below. Again, I can't attest to the quality, but the link is below. So I've tipped the red and black wire. I'm going to show you this attached to a Betty in just a minute, but just to give you a close-up, I'm going to connect it here. Now there's 2 terminals on this little terminal block. The left is V+, so that's positive 12 volts, and the right is G and D for ground, DC ground. So I'm going to connect red to V+, and black to G and D. Now this is very important. If you're going to expose the wires like I did, if you're going to remove the male jack and you're going to expose the wires like I did, you're going to want to make absolutely certain that the battery pack is not connected, and especially not turned on while you're stripping the wires and putting them into the terminal. And that's because you don't want the 2 wires to short each other. If you do that, at the very least you'll damage the battery. You could even cause a fire if you're not careful, because you're essentially you're short-circuiting the entire battery, which means that all of the current will go from the positive to the negative, and that will, I'm not sure what kind of internal heating this, or internal circuitry this has. At the very least, if it has an internal fuse, you'll damage that, and it'll be rendered useless. So, do everything offline without this connected. I've got the positive line to V+, the negative to GND, and now I'm ready to, I can potentially, actually I can, if I use this, what's neat about this is if I want to go, remove the battery pack from the equation completely, I plug this in, plug this into the wall, and I'm ready to roll. This is powering the Betty directly. However, I'm using this to charge. So I can leave this connected because there is normally a key switch right here. Again, I'll show you that in a minute. So I can turn off power, and I can instead plug this in, and now I'm powering the Betty directly. So what I've done is I have bypassed my batteries down here. I've taped the leads to the siren right here, and I've got my 12-volt adapter plugged in here. So let's say I want to go AC to DC. Plug that in, turn on the power, and there we go. We've got our AC solution. Let's say we want to go battery. Take the male end, I'm going to plug it in the battery, and I'm going to turn it on. And then I'll turn on power in the back, sorry. So power's applied, Betty. Okay, so I turn power off. Let's say I want to charge the device. I'll turn it off, and I'll plug in the 12 volt. I'll plug in 12 volts right here, and it will show me the charge right here. Once that's fully charged, I think all 5 LEDs will light up, and there you go. So when you leave it to charge, you turn power off, and then you leave it to charge. Once all 5 LEDs are lit up, then you're done. You unplug the AC, and you're ready just to power again from here. Turn on power to your prop. So there you go. I'm going to turn off power. I'll remove this, just because I'm not going to use this. I've got that battery pack. I'm going to reset it up. In any case, I hope that this video has helped you, whether or not you're using one of my props or not. I hope that this has given you an idea of how to easily use essentially a rechargeable battery pack, because I have a lot of customers who have asked, how do you do it? This is how you do it. And this is a perfect product for it. Again, I can't attest to how long, or the capacity of the battery, the quality of the battery itself seems to be well made. It's CE and ROHS compliant, and it comes. This cable is genius. Whether or not you need to splice splice your own cable, or whether or not you you have a jack. In the case of one of my other props, say my DEFCON 1 prop, that doesn't use a terminal, it uses a plug, so I don't need to expose those wires. In any case, thank you for watching. I hope this video helped. If you did, feel free to subscribe to the channel. No pressure to, but again, all of our props can be found at escaperoomelectronics.com. You can also check out our props at painballprops.com and engineeringshock.com. Have a great day, everyone. Take care.